Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Evening Show right here on Smash FM here on a Saturday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go across to our friends over in the US, and it is great to head back and speak with this amazing NFL cheerleading team. Of course, they're in Minneapolis, of course, in Minnesota. Of course, being with the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders, and of course, I've actually met this person, this cheerleader before. Of course, it was 4 years ago. It was the last time I was up in Minneapolis. And of course, it's great to have her back on the show. Of course, her name is Andrea. She joins us right now. Thanks, Andrea, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I look forward, just to being here and getting to know you more than when I met you back in 2018.
Wow, what a great year for the Vikings so far on the field. But it must be great to be on the field, and especially with the amazing, supporters that you've had back. I guess almost a full year since you've actually had fans.
I know. So I have to give a special shout out to the Minnesota Vikings for our 7-1 record. I mean, this is just an incredible start to the season. And of course, we are so thankful to have fans back in our stadium this year. And, they're just loving it. We're loving it. And you can just tell that everyone's excited to be there. And, we're really just feeling that energy on game day. So we love having them back.
Tell us a bit about your team in particular, of course, the cheerleading team I'm talking about. And how special is this team?
Okay, so we are, really looking forward to what we have as far as the 2022 team. We have had girls across the United States try out to be on this team, and we are so talented this year. I would say, just the talent that we have is super special, and the girls that are a part of this team, we have 27 of us this year, and the talent that they bring in is just incredible, and we're so lucky to be a part of it.
This year in particular, as you mentioned, 7-1 start for the Vikes. I guess for anyone out there who have no idea and who haven't been to US Bank Stadium, which is one of the most amazing stadiums I've been to, what's your routine that you do on game day? Obviously, you got a home game coming up against Dallas next weekend, but what's a typical game day schedule look like?
No matter the weather, hot or cold here in Minnesota, we look forward to just having our presence out on and off the field on game days. So a typical game day for us looks like we wake up at 6 a.m. We are ready to go at the stadium, and we do a full team practice, 2 hours, to be exact, on game day. And then after that, we actually do appearances. So we go around the stadium and we get excited to, meet and greet the fans coming in the stadium, and then as well as be a part of all the activities outside of the stadium too. So with that, we, are doing performances and meeting and greeting with fans, signing autographs. And then when we get back ready to go for game day, we do our signature pump it up, get the Vikings cheerleaders ready to go and run out, and then, really get the players ready to go too. So regardless of, the game day entertainment, I would say the game itself is so fun to watch in that stadium. It gets so loud. And I'm sure if you're familiar with the Skull chant, that is one of the signatures of the Minnesota Vikings. So the whole stadium, I have seen even away fans are, doing the Skull chant, getting them up and excited to be there. So it's an incredible experience.
You get to do performances and routines on the ground, and I guess not many people get a chance to do all this on the ground where the players, play and doing so well at the moment. Tell us a bit about the experience of that.
We are so lucky again to be on the field during that experience. And I would say one thing too is the Viking Stadium, US Bank Stadium, is we are surrounded by fans as well. So we have what's called turf suites. And so there's fans right in front of us, and they, just really keep us engaged, as we're on the field. And so we're able to interact with them. But being on the field is, it's a different experience. And so you're in front of 66,000 fans, and that just gets crazier and crazier each game. And, I've been on the team for 6 years, and I'm so thankful, that I get to perform and be a part of that each game day.
Tell us a bit about your amazing captains, line captains that you have.
So I am very fortunate to be one of the 5 captains this year. We have myself, Andrea, and then we have Whitney, who is a first-year captain. and Shannon, who is a third-year captain, and Alex and Morgan. Alex is a fourth-year captain, and Morgan is a second-year captain. And, we just are so thankful to be leading this team of incredible girls.
You being captain, what does that mean to you?
Oh my goodness. It's the pressure got, let on to me when I got picked captain, just because the legacy that girls have left has been incredible. And I was just so thankful to be picked by my amazing coaches. And each year that I get picked captain, I'm so thankful for it, just because I, soak it in every year and love, being a part of it.
So tell us your amazing line that you have there that you're captain.
Yeah, so I this year am lucky to be a captain for 5 other girls, and so this has been really special because these girls have a couple of them I've been on either teams with or have been a captain for in past seasons, and so I would say I only have one rookie this year, which she's just keeping up and doing an incredible job. Learning from all of our veterans. And so we, just have a special bond this year. And I have, loved getting to know them better and being able to lead them this season.
You mentioned about you only got one rookie on your team. You might as well tell us who that rookie is. And do you just get to choose your own line?
So we do not choose our own line. It goes by coach's choice. And so, they just kind of find who would be best fit for your team each year. So the teams are split up between the 27 girls and the 5 captains. So there's either 5 or 6 on a team. And, it could go anywhere from height, whether hair color, or just, whether you dance similar or not. And, my rookie, I don't know if she got stuck on my team because she's super tall like me. But her name's Allison, and she's done an incredible job and, just learning and picking up pieces so fast from us, which I could not thank her enough for that.
Let's talk a bit about your cheerleading journey. Where did it all start and why did you choose it?
So I started dancing back when I was just 2 years old here locally in Minnesota. And I will say, hands down, Larkin Dance Studio taught me everything that I have known. And after that, I actually went on to go dance 4 years competitively in college at St. Cloud State University. And then after I graduated there, after 4 years, I was not ready to be done with my dance career. So that's when I, kind of decided and, went forth to trying out for the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders. And I was fortunate enough to make it my first year, which, now this is my 6th year. So I've hung on to it strong and, just love everything about it.
When you start as a kid in this entertainment / cheerleading journey, did you always want to be a MVC?
I didn't know where that route would kind of take me, honestly. There's pictures of me in a cheerleader costume when I'm just, 5 years old as a Minnesota Vikings cheerleader. I don't know what part of me or kind of when that, path for me changed. But, come high school, I, just looked up to these girls so much. And I knew that one day hoping that I would be on the field with them and be a part of this team. So I would say, young Andrea would say it was always a dream of hers, but I just never expected to be here this day.
I'm assuming one of the highlights would have been the Super Bowl when it was there in Minneapolis about 4 years ago. Tell us about that experience, and I'm sure that's still one of your biggest highlights.
Oh my goodness, of course. And especially just because the Vikings were doing so well that year. And that was my rookie season. So it was, not only an amazing football season, but we had so many events here in Minnesota around it. And I will say I have heard it was one of the coldest Super Bowls ever in history. Like -20 here in Minnesota. So I don't know if the fans were too happy, but us Minnesotans were really thankful to have it here. There were events all over the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul. And, us at Cheerleaders, we got to meet the Patriots cheerleaders and the Eagles cheerleaders who were there at that time. And unfortunately, the Minnesota Vikings did not make it to the Super Bowl this year, but I'm hoping, this 2022 season's our chance.
So you mentioned about meeting the other cheerleaders from New England and Philadelphia who played in the Super Bowl. Do you get much interaction with those cheerleaders, and do you still have friends from those groups?
Not those groups specifically, since those were the 2 teams present in the Super Bowl that year. We were kind of just here to cheer them on as, cheerleaders and as, acquaintances. But I will say we have had opportunities where we've been able to, meet other cheerleaders around the league. So last year, the Minnesota Vikings, we were fortunate enough to travel out to Detroit for an away game. And we did a battle against their drumline and their cheerleaders. So a lot of those girls, social media is so big now that we were able to meet with them and stay in touch with them. And that was the same thing when we were out in London this year. We were able to meet the Saints cheerleaders that were there, which was so much fun. And again, just have loved staying in connection with them. And then actually too, I am still close with a couple of Colts cheerleaders and Broncos cheerleaders that I met last year when I got to travel over for a military tour out in London. So, the dance world itself is so small, and I will definitely be keeping in touch with these girls, for a while here.
Okay, so let's talk about London. You've been over there quite a few times by the sounds of that.
I know, my second time.
Tell us about that experience for the military, but also when the Vikings played there early this year.
Yeah, so for the military tour, I was one of 8 girls that got picked to go on a military tour. And so myself and MVC Shannon got to head on overseas to the United Kingdom, and we got to visit troops with the Air Force, United States Air Force. And we got to go to 4 different military bases. And so, like I said, we were there with 2 other Broncos cheerleaders and 2 other Colts cheerleaders. So we were there for 7 days. And, just spent our time meeting and greeting with troops and, spending time getting to know them and eating meals with them and, just really learning about what their experience is like over there and giving them a little piece of school spirit while we were at it. And then for this season, the 2022 trip over to London, we were able to, myself and 6 other girls, headed overseas to London again. And that was for the Minnesota Vikings versus Saints game. And so while we were there, we were really just, bringing over more school spirit and, trying to create a fan base over there. And so we did things such as performances, visiting, monuments there out in London, and then riding around on a Vikings wrapped, double-decker bus, which was crazy. And then, just getting to go to the game as a fan was, I would say, my favorite experience over there.
I noticed on that trip to London just this year, of course, there was some photos of with all you in interesting locations around London. Which one was the best one that you had a photo at?
Oh, goodness. I would say probably the best one was Big Ben. I feel like, that's such a huge piece of London. I don't know if that sounds cliche, but, there were just incredible like museums that I had just never kind of pictured myself to see it. And it's such a beautiful city. And I don't know, Abbey Road was really cool. The Beatles cover, which we got to reenact. I would say that was probably a favorite too.
For you, you've been there for 6 seasons now. Oh, sorry, this is your current 6th season now. What does being part of the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders mean to you now?
6 seasons later, I am still thankful to be part of this organization, and will forever say that. We are so lucky to have, such a support system from, the team itself, the coaches, as well as, the football team and upper management. This team to me is it's something that I will hold with me forever and will be, forever thankful to be a part of. I just have loved being a part of it and the opportunities it has given me. And, I will never take it for granted.
Tell us about your 2 or 3 amazing coaches that you have at MVC.
So Nikki has been my coach all 6 seasons, and I have just loved seeing her, kind of mold into this head coach position just because, when she started with me, she was assistant coach, and now, being able to be a head coach, she has come, such a long way, and I have loved, just working with her. And she's so talented, and I could not, be where I am without her. So she's incredible. And then Karen as well, she came in, I think at my 3rd season, and, she again just is, they've both been on the team, so they know what it's like here. And, Karen's great and, does a really, really nice job of just, making sure that we're able to get ourselves out in, the community and do events. And, I'm just so thankful for both of them.
Any future ambitions in cheerleading?
Future ambitions with cheerleading. Year 6, I don't know when it's time to retire, I guess. I might have one more year in me after this, but I would say, I would love to be a part of the organization after this. I just have loved, being a part of it. And it's been such a big, piece of my life that I can't picture the Minnesota Vikings, not being, with me as I move forward with life. So, we'll see. I would love to be a part of their game day staff in some way, or, whether it's me in the stands cheering on the cheerleaders, as a fan, that might have to do too.
What's your best MVC dance moves that you've done?
Oh, goodness. That is a tough one. Well, I would say if anyone has not Googled it or YouTubed it or watched it online, I would say our prime time, our showtime that we brought into the 2021 season, and now we do it every game, but it is the best. And it's the start of every game. And so what we do is we do all sorts of tricks, and it's with the entire game entertainment. So the flag runners are a part of it. Victor the Viking is a part of it. Our drum line's a part of it. And then, of course, the cheerleaders. And what it is it's just, a way to start the game. And we get all the fans involved in it as well. And, we just run out and do a crazy dances as we're running around to get the fans pumped up. So I would say that is probably my favorite thing. Probably my favorite move that we've done is just because it's such a tradition that we've brought into game day.
What would be your advice to people, especially here in Australia, who are thinking about maybe becoming a cheerleader?
Oh, you have to go for it. Again, moving back to young Andrea, I would have never seen myself here as a cheerleader, 20 years later, but here I am. So I would say my best advice would just be that, kind of just follow your dreams and, go where life takes you. If it, takes you a couple tries to make a team, then so be it. If it's meant to be, it will be. And I definitely say, this is the best experience. And if you're able to do it, absolutely go chase it.
Obviously, you've been overseas, you've been to London in particular. How cool will it be to hopefully, maybe bring an NFL game involving the Vikings down here in Australia, or even coming over to Australia?
I do think that the NFL will be international soon. Hopefully we get some teams over there. I know we've, of course, had games now in Mexico, Germany, and over in London. So I see it definitely in the next 5 to 10 years that we'll be making it over to Australia to play a football game. I don't know if I'll be on the team, but if they go, they'll definitely be there in spirit.
Let's finish up with a couple light-hearted questions, which is, okay. So who's the comedian, the best singer, and into their TikToks? Or / Be Real?
Okay, so I would say the comedian has to be my teammate, Sydney. She definitely keeps practice just lighthearted. I'm sure if you've seen her on social media, you've had to have a good laugh from her. Best singer, I don't know if we have one of those on the team. I would say my small team has a joke that we call ourselves the Scolapellas. And so, acapella, Scolapella, get it? And so we like to think we're good at singing. So I'm going to give that shout out to my small team there. And I would say for the person that's most into their social media, I'm going to totally call her out here. Sorry, Soonji, but Soonji, I definitely focuses on her social media, but she kills it. TikTok is huge now, and I would say the whole team is great at it if you've seen our social media, but yes. Soonji is probably the one that, puts the most effort into it, which I got to appreciate her for it.
I knew she was going to be mesh on that one. About the team but a moment ago, but do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
My pre-game superstition or ritual, I would say, is having to take a 5-hour energy before every game. I don't know if those things work or not, but every game day I take a 5-hour energy, and it just gives me that extra boost, or I like to think it gives me that extra boost of energy, even if those night games, it gets hard to sleep at night, but either way, I have to do it. So that is my weird ritual and routine that I have to do for every game day.
All the games that you've been involved in, especially at home at the US Bank Stadium, is there one particular game that stands out to you the most?
Oh, I have to say this, and I'm sure you saw it coming, but the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yes.
Again, that was going back to my first year, my rookie season, but that being a part of that Minneapolis Miracle and something that will, live on with the Minnesota Vikings football team forever was probably the loudest I've ever heard that stadium. And I will just be forever thankful that I got to be on the field and in the corner that Stephon Diggs ran into. So that was probably my favorite game to be a part of. And the only playoff game in at home for the past 6 seasons. So hopefully we can change that this year.
Of course, on top of that, have you had any close calls, or have you had a close call with a player that, obviously they don't have time to stop when they go out of bounds? Have you had a close call, or how any of your teammates had a close call?
I would say us as cheerleaders, we always try to keep it so professional, make sure that we're watching that game to be aware of, a 250-pound man coming our way. So I would say personally, I have not had a close call, but Sydney a couple years ago did get hit by I believe it was a Bears player, and she rebounded quickly and was able to get back up and cheer. But, it's one of the funny stories that she still likes to use as an example to, have girls be aware that you have to be watching the football game and, make sure you're cheering after the play and turning your back towards the football field after the play, just so that doesn't happen. But, I would say there's been some close calls, but we're always have our eyes on the field.
Of course, you get a chance to meet the fans on game day before the game. Have you had any strange requests?
Strange requests. I would say, there's some strange requests of just what people autograph or want us to autograph, on their t-shirt or calendar, but we always try to keep it professional, of course, lighthearted, and just make sure that we, would prefer their name rather than, their weird nickname that they have brought to us. But I would say that's the only thing, weird request that I can think of off the top of my head.
And now, of course, we had a chance to come over to Minneapolis, as we mentioned, 4 years ago. I think it was at your training session there. How special was that? And were you surprised at the time?
Oh, we're always so thankful to have visitors at our practice. And of course, we're always, surprised, and we're lucky to have you. And hopefully we'll get you out this year again. We'll have to talk to our coaches about that, but we would love to have you guys. And, whenever we have somebody come to our practice, it's always so fun to, show them what we're working on and get a picture with them. So definitely thankful for that.
And do you still have our present that we gave you at the time?
Okay, you'll have to, it's been 4 years. Remind me what it was.
I think it was a key ring.
Oh, we definitely have to have it then. Yes, for sure. Everything that I'm given from Vikings, whether it's the simplest thing as a rally towel that we're given at a game or a silly Jared Allen wig, I keep everything. So I'm going to have to dig it up, but I definitely still have it. And if not, you have to send us another one.
Okay. We'll finish up with this last one, which is describe the MVC in as many words as you like.
Describe the MVC in as many words as I'd like. I would say talented is the first one that comes to my mind. Like I said before, we are so lucky to have probably one of the most talented teams here in the NFL here in the United States. I would say ambitious. We have girls that are chasing dreams and, just really, really going after what they love, which is cheerleading and professional dancing. And my last thing would be grateful. No matter how many opportunities we're given, I would say people just stay humbled and grateful for every opportunity that we have here with the Minnesota Vikings.
Andrea, thank you so much for giving up some of your time to join us. It's awesome to have you back and get the chance to catch up with you again. And can't wait to come over to Minneapolis this year, and especially hopefully come to one of your games there at US Bank Stadium. And obviously, best of luck for the remainder of the year. And hopefully, we get to see the Vikings continue their winning streak at currently at 7-1. But hopefully, by the time they get to Dallas, we get to host the Cowboys. Hopefully, you can continue that really good form. Hopefully, get to see you in the playoffs.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to having you here.
No worries. That's it. That's MVC Andrea there joining us there from the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders. Because if you are ever in the US and heading to Minnesota, of course, highly recommend going out there to US Bank Stadium and join the Vikings, and of course get to catch up with the MVC crew there. There's more on at the Smash Evening Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.